Welcome to the Cool Fireman Podcast, a virtual firehouse kitchen table with Matt, Adam, Brian, Doug, and Freddie, where they discuss everything that matters in today's fire service. Now let's get to the show.
Freedom, 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 freedom. All right, we're back. We're back. Fifth take is a charm, folks. The Cool Fireman Podcast. Matt, Douglas, Unky, and Freddie are back at you. Today we are going to be talking about, this is going to light the internet on fire, Fred. I can't wait. Freddie came up with an idea to talk about EMS versus fire training. We do mostly EMS, but should we train more on EMS than we do fire? I don't know if I'm going to state it like that, but look, let's just say, EMS in the fire service, what does it look like? Do you like it? How do you train for it? How do you add it in with your fire-based training and all that kind of stuff? That's what we're going to talk about today. But first, housekeeping.
A beer.
All right. Some housekeeping, boys. Welcome back. And Patreon is a full fire, on fire, Douglas.
Yes, Lord.
What do we got?
We got 2 new engineer subscribers in the past 2 days. We got a Mr. Simon Gray, and we got Ty the Fire Guy, which I believe his last name is Rowan. Ty Rowan. So that's 2 more in the last week. Kenny's going to join eventually, I guess. You would think so. But.
Well, we have 9 engineer tier subscribers. And once we get the 10th, we're going to start doing a wheel of names for the engineer tier subscribers, and we're going to start giving stuff away. We all 4 of us, 5 of us, however many there are of us, have lots of stuff to give away. And so we can't wait to start doing that. But we're literally 1 away. Yeah. But what we are not going to wait for anymore is if you look at both your rookie and engineer tier subscriber benefits, on there, you will see that you can be a part of the turnout drill. So what we're going to do is I'm going to share my screen, and then we are going to, if I can figure out how to do it, and we're going to do a wheel of names, which I've already have in there. Oh my gosh, where is it? I got to find it.
This could either work great or awful.
What's that? There it is. Okay.
Trying to
sharing the wheel of names, folks. Can you see it?
There it is.
All right. So on here, there's all the subscribers from the rookie tier and engineer tier. If you are chosen, we are going to send you an email with 3 questions that have to do with our turnout drill. Go ahead and answer them to your best of your ability. And with a little brief description, I don't know. I'll give you instructions on the email. It's really not that difficult.
Maybe we should just ask them for 3 random numbers and we'll do that.
Then they're going to have to.
We'd have to exchange the emails, but yeah.
Yeah. So I think it'd just be easier if I just randomly gave them the questions.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm just saying. That's just 2 less emails. Okay. So here we go. Are we ready to spin?
Spin that mug.
Hey, and the winner is
Wheel of Fortune.
Whoa, it's one of the new guys. Simon Gray. All right, Simon. Ooh, look at that. Very good. So Simon, I will send you an email with a couple questions. And if you don't want to do it, just write me back and say, hey, I'm not interested. No big deal. And we'll choose somebody else at random. So that's fun. Just another way to kind of get everybody engaged into the podcast. Sooner or later, we're going to figure out how we can have Riverside Live. And probably one show a month. It'll be live for people to go in as audience members, and you can ask questions, and that'll be super fun. I actually cannot wait to do that. So that'll be cool. All right. So Simon, look out for that email. And then if you are a subscriber and you have a topic for us, please reach out. We're always looking for topics, and that's definitely a part of the benefit as well. So merchandise. So here's a shirt. I got it's actually in the wash right now. I was going to wear it, but if you're looking for a St. Patrick's Day shirt, it's pretty sick. I got that in the mail, so that's kind of fun. I've been wearing that the last few days. The hat.
Wash.
I was in Vegas, boys. I sent you that text message, and there was a random guy, and he went, "The Cool Fireman Podcast." He goes, "Are you a host?" And I said, "I'm one of them." And they said, "Oh, you must be a celebrity." And my wife just rolled her eyes. And I was like, "Yep, not according to my wife, but maybe according to you."
This is my wife.
This is my wife. So yeah, get your merch, thecoolfireman.com, and go to store. There's kids stuff on there. There's hoodies, hats, t-shirts. There's like more comfort fit shirts. And then there's the more like, I don't know, I got big muscles t-shirts on there.
And I'll tell you this right now. If you show up to the Burn Box booth at FDIC wearing some Cool Fireman podcast apparel, I have a special surprise for you.
Oh, dang. All right. Straight from his mouth. We can't hear what you're saying,
Can't hate
Fred.
you, Freddie.
Don't do anything, Freddie. Don't leave. This guy killing me. All right. Very good. So that's merch, sponsors, boys. Unky Seasoning. Adam, anything that you'd like to add or subtract?
No.
All right. Very cool. Let's hear a promo from Unky Seasoning.
From the firehouse to your house, Unky's Seasoning packs bold, firehouse-tested flavor into every meal. Whether you're grilling, roasting, or just sprinkling it on your favorite snacks, our blends turn everyday eats into unforgettable bites. Pick your flavor, shake it on, and taste why it's firehouse approved. Go to unkeyseasoning.com.
All right, very cool. We love Unky Seasoning. From the firehouse to your house, right, boys? Tom of the Burn Box. We all got Burn Box notifications. We're excited. It's coming in the mail here in the next, I don't know, probably within the next week. So we're always excited.
Another banger.
Another banger. If you're on the fence, go get you a Burn Box. So let's hear a quick promo for the Burn Box.
Brought to you by the Burn Box, the #1 firefighter subscription box. The Burn Box celebrates firefighter products and firefighter-owned and operated businesses. Start today and receive a monthly box of firefighter apparel, gear, and tools. Check them out at theburnbox.com.
All right, very cool.
And if you're not in the Collectors Club, sick-ass coins and patches this month.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah. The horse. Dude, smoking a cigar, holding axes. Are you kidding me?
Dude, they're amazing.
Never seen that in my life.
So good.
Yeah, it's like Daisy. We need to get a coin of Daisy smoking a cigar.
Oh,
right? Moment of silence. Does anybody have any special shout outs for the moment of silence?
No.
Anybody we're honoring? Okay.
Nope.
That's a good thing. Nobody near and dear to our heart. There might be somebody, and I hope that we're not missing them. Of course, this is an important segment for us here at the Cool Fireman Podcast that we want to honor all those that we may or may not have lost over the last week for a quick moment of silence. All right, well said. One thing I forgot to mention about I am getting blown up right now. What is going on? Kenny Mitchell, you are on fire right now with us. One thing I wanted to say is
on the podcast.
You are on. You have made it, sir. But one thing I wanted to say about merch, I forgot. We got a Sorry Rhett T-shirt to Rhett.
yes.
It should have made it. It said it got delivered from the podcast. We sent him a youth medium, is what Ron
Change
said
that
he
angle
wears.
of that hand, bud.
I went like this. Jeez.
Knife hand.
Easy, bud.
Not here. Here.
Watch it, brah. Watch it. Very cool. Yeah, so Rhett should have gotten his T-shirt, so we're super stoked about that.
That's awesome.
All right,
Send
boys.
us a picture.
That's fun.
Hey, the reality of the fire service, and we've seen it in comments on social media. The fire service never should have gotten into EMS. Yeah, well, we have, and we did. Thanks to, in part, to Johnny and Roy back in the 70s. Started the paramedic programs all across the country. So now we've got paramedicines, the paragods, my healing hands, our healing hands, I should say, are in the fire service. So everybody's got an opinion on the amount of medical aid calls we run and the types and the training we do. It shouldn't be in the fire service. I'll just start off with, I think that it should be in the fire service. I think it's a very good service that we provide our communities, especially with fires dwindling. But I've talked about it before. the training that we do for fires and for those types of emergencies. In my town, we do rope rescues, we do auto extrication, we fight fires, we do all that still. The fires are declining just like everybody else. But training has not. Training's actually ramped up in the last year or two for us. We got this new pump pod thing, and it's actually really cool. It's like it's like a trailer, and we bring it out and we hook it to a hydrant and we fill it up. It's about 1,700 gallons that we used initially, and it's got this little floater on it, and we connect and we basically draft with one of our Type 1 engines through it, and we can send through our 4-inch discharge to a fake hydrant, and we can run scenarios all day long with that fake hydrant, and we just will basically has like a little manifold on the pod, and we connect hoses to it, and we can do engineer training, big water training, and we just shoot water into the back of the trailer, and it recycles. Do we lose a little bit of water from spray? Yeah. But I'm telling you, we did the Engineers Academy a couple weeks, boys, and we flowed in one day 80,000 gallons of water through it. So whether or not you're like one of those guys, it's like, it's what we do and we need to train. So F it, waste the water, right? That's fine. You can have that opinion. But on top of wasting 80,000 gallons of water, it's like, it's not just that you're saving, but can you imagine flooding an entire park wherever we were with 80,000 gallons of water? Yeah. You know what I mean? So it has that benefit too, which is really cool.
You guys have enough water problems in California.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll hear about it. If I clip that, we'll hear all about it in social media. But so like our training is ramped up. But, Freddie, you started this conversation. It's a great conversation to have, I think. EMS is in the fire service. There's no going away from it. There might be departments out there, I'm sure there is, that don't run medical aids. I don't know. Do I hear that FDNY, they still have like an EMS side and a fire side? But I don't think that the fire side is completely exempt from running medical aids, right?
No, I think they still run high-level stuff.
Yeah, I don't
high-acuity maybe is the better word.
Especially because of the MVA side of it. I mean, there's going to be a lot of fire apparatus that arrive to MVAs first, and you've got to be able to provide that first aid. So it's still a medical call, man.
Yeah. I mean, we all know the difference between like first aid and then an EMT and then like a B and then like an EMTP, like a paramedic, right? It would be 3 different levels, I think. So maybe they're just like first aid, they know how to stop bleeding and they can raise it up or put pressure or bandage, wrap, whatever. So Fred, you kind of came up with this topic. Is there something that you wanted to start it off, or I kind of already started it off, but anything to add in congruence with what I just said?
No, I think the reason that this came up was because there is a possibility I put in for I don't even know if it's a promotion, but it's an appointment that's a higher level position within my organization to be an EMS coordinator. I teach at the college, I teach at the fire academy, and then I also teach on the EMS side. So I'm pretty passionate about training in general, and there's always that, I feel like, argument that you have with whether it's your crews or guys that you talk with that are like, hey, we're going to train today. Okay, well, what are we training on? I mean, we're going to go out and throw ladders. Cool. All right, let's go throw ladders, or let's do some extrication. Oh, we're dropping eye gels today, or we're, intubating. It's like, I don't want to do that. And, the first thing that came to mind when I threw this topic out there was actually a quote that Frank Viscuso definitely didn't make it up, but he leans into it. And it's actually a quote that's often misquoted. And it is want to make sure I say it correctly, but a jack of all trades is a master of none. That's the one that everybody hears. A jack of all trades is a master of none. That's only half of the quote. The whole quote is, a jack of all trades is a master of none, but oftentimes better than a master of one. And so the reason that I really like that quote is because, sure, you could be really good at one thing, But in the fire service, especially, we don't do one thing. We are the catch-all basin for, if it's not a police matter, then they're probably sending the fire department to it. We had, stand by. Be right back.
All hazards.
So yeah, I like what he's saying. So Freddie's on duty right now, so he has to go in and out. So, I the whole jack of all trades, master of none, like I think that that's fine. And I think what he was getting at, what he was going to start about to say was that in the fire service, people call us from, they fell. They have a fire alarm going off. They don't know how to change the batteries in their smoke detectors. I mean, how many times do you guys get called out at 2 a.m. and they're like, I swear it's beeping because there's smoke. And I'm like, well, do you see smoke or smell smoke? There's questions that you have to ask. But people freak out, right? They're like, oh my God, an emergency, call 911. And then you take the smoke detector off, right? And you look on the backside of it and it tells you. How many people know that the backside of a smoke detector will tell you what the beeps mean? Like 2 beeps is this, 3 beeps is that, 4 beeps, fucking run. You know what I mean? How many people know that? I don't think very many. Because when I get there and I explain that to them, they're like, oh my God, I didn't even know that was there. So it's master of all, like master of whatever, like, or what is it? Jack of all trades, master of none, like, is totally true. And we don't have a truck in our town, but like I just said, we train on AutoX. We do 3-to-1 and 5-to-1 Z rigs with our multi-purpose device. Like, we are very proficient. If we have to go over a cliff, whether it's lowering or it's rappelling, we can do all that as firemen. Like, we're not specially trained for rescue, except for we have low angle rescue and we have high angle rescues. And you can go up from there. But we do that type of training every shift. So if what Freddie's saying is, hey, we're going to do training today. Oh, what is it on? Oh, let's do some patient assessments for trauma. Like, that to me is EMS training. Like, I think that you should train something in fire, almost every shift, if not every shift. What do you think, Doug? How does that ring your bell?
So there's 2 sides to this thing. My department is probably, at this point, we're probably 82% EMS. And I don't know how they're classifying MBAs, but either way, it's 80 to 82% EMS. You can look at it like you do more training on the things you do less frequently, because your EMS is so much more frequent. You're staying more sharp and on top of that. Or you can look at it like, and one of my BCs has always said this. He said, if a high acuity call bangs out, guys from 2 to 3 districts over who are returning from a call or whatever, they're on the road already. Hey, add us to that call. Well, if they're 2 or 3 districts over and a cardiac arrest comes out, they don't get, hey, add me to that call. They don't, it's different.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't be. But how many times have you run a cardiac arrest where things didn't go well that should go well? Because that's an easy call to run, but it doesn't because people get so weird about it. Or like I had I had one the other day, without disclosing any HIPAA stuff. 32-year-old lady ended up having flash pulmonary edema. I'd never experienced it in the field yet. And that's something that I've never really trained on outside of it. Maybe a scenario in paramedic school, but that's something that you don't see every day. That's not a very frequent thing. So I think we should be training on both, but we need to understand the importance of the EMS side of it because of the frequency of it. You're not going to get away from it. It's not never going to regress. It's only going to increase with the aging populations and the frivolous nature of the calls that happen. Now, granted, everybody hates the mundane, frivolous, I stubbed my toe 2 days ago and now it's swollen thing. You know what I mean? But there's nothing to make you look more stupid than a high acuity EMS call and you don't know what to do. You got in this business to serve the public. It doesn't matter what that's for. If they call 911, they want you to show up knowing what to do. Fix my problem. I have a problem. It's probably the worst day of my life. Help me. And if you're not training on that stuff and staying sharp about it, and you're, I'm here to ride backwards. Well, that's not the way the most of the country is going now. So, it's extremely important to me.
Yeah. I mean, come on. I think all of us would say, I'd rather run a structure fire every shift than run medical aids. We went to I don't know. I had to have my EMT license already in order to apply for my fire academy. That's how that specific one worked. Now, there were other fire academies in my area that I could have applied for that had different requirements, and that one of them was not to have your EMT license, because they did like a 3 or 4 week EMT class in the fire academy.
We did,
right? Mm-hmm. But out of the 16-week fire academy or longer, 3 to 4 weeks is EMS, and the rest is fire. Right? That's what we got into this job to do, to go out, break shit, put the water on the fire, learn how to pull hose, learn how to drive engines, all that good stuff. Like, that's all the fun stuff. But I think it's totally great that EMS is in the fire service, and I'll sit here and admit it. And it's the exact reason what you just said, Doug. We're there to serve the community. Like, you know what? If grandma stubbed her toe and she called 911, now that's probably not the best course of action. And that's where public education needs to come in, because I don't know about you, Doug, in your fire department, but a lot of people have been using the emergency room as their primary care physician.
Yeah.
And it's insane. So we had this old guy like a month ago, 3-4 weeks ago, and he fell, hit his head. He was on blood thinners, became a trauma. This was on a shift where I wasn't there. Fell, hit his head, had this big old hematoma, black and blue. They get there, they take him to the trauma center because of the criteria, and he's out the next day, right? They scanned his head. He's all good to go. Well, he wakes up in the morning and he goes, "Oh man, my knee hurts." and he goes, "I need to go back to the hospital." Like, well, no, maybe you just need to call your doctor or go to the urgent care and they can get it x-rayed. You don't need to call for an ambulance to come and cart you down and then get you in the ambulance, take you to the emergency room and plug up a bed. And again, we've talked about this before. We've talked to people all across the country, big departments, small departments, middle departments, departments that are super busy. In Los Angeles, those guys will hold a wall for like hours, I've heard. COVID kind of changed that, because COVID really put a magnifying glass on what they call APOT times. And I'd have to look it up. Ambulance. Fuck, I don't remember. It's basically the time that you're sitting on the wall. From the time that you put your ambulance in park and the time that you do a pass along with the nurse. Yeah. But we talk to people all over the place. And so it's tough to kind of like, there's no one right answer to that. But I think that EMS in the fire service is a good thing. I think we train a lot. We're fair wages for what we do, and we're there, like you said, to help people. And the other thing that you said, Doug, was I don't think someone's going to put themselves on a call for a stub toe, from 2 districts or whatever it is, right? If you're so we have AVL. All of our rigs are okay. You do too. Yeah. So if you're put on the call, that means you're the closest rig, whether it's in your district or not, or you're first in, whatever you call it. Yeah, you're gonna go. You know what I mean? Like, turn the lights on. Like, grandma fell over again. Like, that's the way it goes.
So I think it needs to be viewed as such. I have Con Ed tomorrow, but we need to be. We do quarterly Con Ed. We need to be doing more EMS training than just quarterly. We recently, a few years ago, started doing BLS Con Ed. So now our BLS providers also go to Con Ed. We didn't do that for a long time. But we have to stay sharp on those. Like tomorrow's cardio. We do that obviously every year. You do airway every year. You do cardiovascular every year. So tomorrow's our cardiovascular. But I think the fire side of it is we train because those are extreme acuity incidents that are very high risk and high probability of serious injury or death, whether that be extrications, whether that be house fires, whatever, gas leaks, whatever, which we just saw a massive gas leak issue. I forget where it was at. They evacuated like the whole block and they couldn't find the issue, and like it blew up several houses. But anyway, we train on those things because of the acuity of them. Well, we need to not forget the acuity of the EMS side in that conversation, because you're going to run statistically, facts don't care about your feelings. Statistically, you're going to run a high acuity EMS call more often than you are a fire call. So don't let that knife get dull. Also, make sure you keep that one sharp. And even down to the BLS guys. Look, man, I got a really good group of BLS guys at my station. They know that I want them to do airway, get that taken care of, get an IGL in, get some ventilation going, get some entitle on that thing, and let me sit back and figure out what has to happen. So they're really good about that. But we need to understand that when you have a dual system like most departments have now, you have to stay on top of that. Your citizens demand it. Your taxpayer base and your community, your customers, if you will, because that's what they are, demand that, and you owe that to them.
Yeah.
If you owe it to them to throw a ladder and pull them off the window when their bedroom next door is on fire, you owe it to them to save their aunt and uncle or grandma or whoever when they're having a major medical event, whether it be a stroke, cardiac, whatever, doesn't matter. You owe it to them. So you can't say for them and preach that when it's only about fire rescues. It's about all rescues. We're all hazards. Every department's an all hazard department. So you got to stay sharp on both.
Yeah. And I don't really understand where this whole like chest beating thing came in the fire service. I mean, that's obviously, firemen want to be manly men, like big guys carry big axes, and that's all great. That's totally fine. I have no problem with that at all. But it's like, if you've gotten into the fire service, I mean, they've been doing EMS since how long? I don't even know. Like how long I mean, paramedics have been around for almost 50 years. Yeah. So it's like, you can't come into the fire service and be like, I only want to run fire calls and like not be okay with EMS. I like, you got into this business. Like,
you got to also understand that those departments that are not doing dual stuff anymore are getting fewer and fewer. So your chance of getting hired with that department, one, you probably got to move. And two, that list is getting longer and longer of people you have to beat out to make it on that department that only does, fire stuff.
Yeah.
So it's just something you're going to have to accept.
Right. I mean, I don't know. I just don't see it.
You're helping
it's a service to the community. Like you said, the customers, and that's part of it. And as a professional firefighter, we provide damn good service, and that's what our community expects, just like you said. And I'll just reiterate it. We talk about that, and it's happened in my county where all the surrounding counties, they all have private paramedics that are paid for by private entities, and we have kept all of the paramedics in the county that I work in are all firemen. There's no private paramedics. They just kind of cracked in within the last 5 years into a certain city. They have like an interesting thing back and forth, but they've started to. But I feel like the service that we provide is better than a service coming from a for-profit company.
Let me ask this. So go ahead, finish.
No, I was just going to say, now that's not to say that there's not great paramedics in those private entities. All I'm saying is I've worked for a private ambulance company as an EMT, and I know what it's like to be treated the way that I did by a for-profit ambulance company. Like, you're just a number. Hey, go here, go there. And the people that work for those types of companies, in my experience, now, again, I'll say it. We're talking to people all over the country, some parts of the world that listen to this podcast that don't do business like we do. But I've been treated the way that I was treated by those private entities. And that just doesn't produce an environment where you're going to get somebody that wants to do their best, in my opinion. I mean, in order to make it through that stepping stone, you have to be that kind of guy that just wants to be better and who wants to just get through this stepping stone and just, at 2 a.m, hey, I need you to go stage at this street and this street, right? And you're like, instead of going, oh my God, I hate my life. It's more just like, you just laugh. You got your partner there, whatever, let's go. Like, it's 2 a.m. This is what we're getting paid to do. F it. Right. And I told myself, as I was sitting in that stupid parking lot, just sitting there with my partner, 2:00 in the morning, waiting for a call to come out. And I looked at my partner and I say, man, one day I'm going to be sitting in the back of a fire engine and I'm going to be laughing my ass off. You know what I mean? And it came to fruition. Now it's like 15 years later already. You know what I mean? But that's all I'm going to say is paramedics, EMTs, EMS-based providers that come from a full-time department, paid department from where I am, is just a better service. I'll say that.
Do you guys have an annual award ceremony that recognize promotions and any awards that have been given out throughout the year?
Yeah. So
you guys give out Life Save awards and that kind of stuff?
Not really. I mean, we're, that's the funny part of the fire service, right? I mean, we're all said to be humble individuals, and whether or not I've had countless full arrests that have gone the right way, and in fact, where you go into the ICU and you shake the guy's hand, and he's there, he's crying, the whole thing. I didn't get recognized for that. Like that was enough for me to walk in there and shake that guy's hand, and he say thank you. Like that was an awesome moment.
That's kind of where I'm going with that.
And I walk away.
We have an annual awards ceremony that recognizes promotions, and we give out, if anybody's been put up for life saves or unit citations or that kind of thing, Medal of Valor, which is very infrequent for my department. But we, a lot of times, will invite, if it's a medical event that somebody ends up leaving the hospital, we'll invite them to the award show. And a lot of them do come back to the fire stations and talk to their crews. But
right.
My point of that is, I don't think I'm going out on a limb to say that you are much more likely to make a dramatic impact on somebody's life on an EMS call than you are a fire call, because how many structure fires do you run where the house has already been vacated or evacuated, whatever you want to call it, and you're just putting the fire out? Now, granted, we love that. That's the most fun part of the job, is fighting fire and trying to find fire that's hidden and searching. That's cool, but most of the house fires you go to are going to be self-evacuated. You are more likely to make a dramatic impact on somebody's life on an EMS call. In my department, I think that's a given. I'm not speaking for everyone, but I think I can go out on a limb and say that that's pretty much nationwide. I would love to see the numbers of how many combination departments there are versus strictly fire departments. Maybe I'll try to research that this week, but don't let that go unnoticed. Oh, I hate riding. That's my medic day. I got to ride the medic day. All right, cool, man. Whatever. It's what you signed up for. Cool, man. Just go get a free snack and call it good, man.
Yeah. No, 100%. It's just funny to me because, as you're sitting there talking and I'm listening, and at the same time, you wrestle back and forth because of that question. I've already said it a few times in this podcast. It's just like, I wanted to be a I joined the fire department to fight fire, not to pick old people up off the ground. Well, how do you answer that? In
today's age of fire prevention and education, like you said earlier on in the show, that's the house fire numbers are going down. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I would love to see them. They're going down. Now, granted, we have higher, faster burn times and that kind of thing, but like the amount of them due to education and people, being safer with things and the advent of technology that people don't have to use kerosene and space heaters as much as they used to. Yeah. Fire hoods. That stuff's going down.
No, I'm just saying fire codes. Any type of
new
construction, especially in this crazy ass state of California.
Yeah,
I mean the codes that they have to. I'm just doing a small remodel in my house, adding some. I have to put in a fire sprinkler. I got to have a third party fire sprinkler guy come in, and not only did I have to do that, but I had to do a plan that was approved by the county because I live in I don't live in a city, like it's like a unincorporated, right? So it's through the county, and they have to approve this one fire sprinkler. And it's taking so long, the bureaucracy and legislate all this crap that we have to be. So there you go, right? Why are we not having any fires anymore? We go, that's because every fire department now is a fire marshal that probably has gold bugles on their freaking collars.
Yeah, the law enforcement, the code enforcement has come miles, and Brian would absolutely attest to this right now. It's come leaps and bounds better than what it was. So that stuff is on the decline. So it is what it is, man.
And we have to be happy about that. Like, sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, that's our job, right?
Yeah.
Preserve life, property, and environment. And also, and that, I mean, I'm sure if you go onto everybody's website throughout the country, their mission statement probably says something about fire prevention. I mean, that's literally like the number one thing of how we mitigate. And we do community risk reduction. And what are we seeing? You know, like that's how we fix it. And we're not just the fire service where you hear the stories of the guys, you know, toes up in the recliners and they're just doing nothing all day and they're not running any calls. Our call volume has gone up steadily, and we could even have a discussion and an argument, I'm sure, about that on social media, which is fine. Again, we talk to people all over the country, slow departments, you know, busy departments, big departments, small. So it is it's crazy, like the diversity of across the country of the different types of fire. And then you got volunteer versus paid. And I'm sure I've already pissed off some volunteer firemen by saying that I think a professional firefighter EMT is better than a private. That I don't, and all I can go off is my experience. You know what I mean? And I don't want to be ignorant to think that through somewhere in this country, I mean, shit, Quinn's dad, right? Travis, right? It's Travis. He's a volunteer.
Swanson.
And he's going to be listening to this. So you listen to this, let me know, you know, and that's what we're here for, to create conversation, right? Now, we all know that one of these clips is going to piss somebody off because I'm going to provoke the question of EMS in the fire service, and it's going to go great. But that's what we're here to do is continue the great conversation. And EMS ain't going away. And fires are, because of codes and enforcement. And I mean, shoot, our fire marshal shuts people down all the time because their panels are, you know, showing a trouble. Mm-hmm. They'll put them on fire watch. Yep. And it's crazy, you know, it's crazy, but I don't think it's going anywhere, guys. And I don't, you know, so if you're going to get into the fire service, so who are we talking to? We're talking to a lot of new firefighters, or people that want to become firefighters that listen to this podcast. I don't know how many are already firemen or, you know, salty old guys are listening to this podcast. They're probably listening to the salty podcast or whatever they call it. But you know, just know, well, this is what you're getting yourself into. You're going to be taking some blood pressures. You're going to be putting a C collar on a patient on a car accident. Like you're going to take a blood sugar, and you're going to be in charge of doing a 12 lead on a cardiac call. Like that's what you're going to be doing. But we are also going to be training on fire stuff. We're going to be pulling hose. We have this awesome place called Pick Your Part. We can go and they give us cars. It's like a car parts. Yeah. Where they go out there and they pick your part, I guess. Yeah. Junkyard. Thank you. That's what I was looking for.
Yeah, and we'll go several local ones that are really accommodating to us, and they'll set the cars up in any configuration we want on the roof, on the side, you know, whatever. They do that frequently for us. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah. Adam, you've been quiet. I know you had to leave us for a second, but we've been talking about everything EMS and fire related together. You're on mute, by the way. I don't know. I want to get your opinion. What do you think about EMS and the fire service, and how does it really kind of relate to your Fed fire stuff?
We do both. We transport, we do medicals. I mean, it's just something that I've always known to be hand in hand.
Right.
So I see it as what we do is we train half and half. And with riding the ambulance, taking turns riding the ambulance, it keeps up with your skills.
Yeah, we're in charge of doing, I think it's at least the minimum is 240 hours of training. So that accounts to about 2 hours per shift, I think, at 120 shifts, because 10 a month. I think that's what it comes to. Yeah, 240 hours. And so it's kind of like pick and choose. I mean, some of it's EMS, some of it's fire. And we've had a lot. And I bet a lot of people across the country are dealing with this right now. A lot of attrition through these baby boomers that are leaving us. And so we've had a lot of hirings. I mean, we only have 37 in our fire department, and we probably have 13 or 14 new guys in the last 3 years. I mean, do the numbers. Like that's almost half of our department that have been on for less than 3 or 4 years. And so we've been doing a lot of training. Yeah. Same as you. And so we've done a lot of
rate is 2 to 1. 2 go out, 1 comes in.
2 go out, 1 comes in. Wow. Yeah. Well, and so that's that's a whole nother podcast we could talk about
yeah.
recruitment and retention. But yeah, that's crazy. There's been a lot of that. So we've had a lot of promotional training, which has been cool. Guys that want to be captains, guys that want to be engineers. And the coolest thing about that is it just makes you better at where you're at now. I've always said that when I was a fireman going for engineer, it made me a better fireman when I started training to be an engineer. I was like, oh, that makes more sense. What he's looking for, so, but it's not going anywhere.
We break down our EMS training monthly. We just take, majority of us are national registered. So it's every 3 years you got to research. So it's a little bit quicker than our state. I'm just state. So we just kind of keep with their schedule. They break it out, all this, the hours that they need, kind of spread them out throughout the month and throughout the year. So that as long as you do the monthly training, you're not going to miss your research.
Yeah. That's back to we're doing BLS Con Ed now. It just makes it that much easier for the BLS guys to research. They don't have to be chasing, research hours for this and other. And we send out target solution stuff that counts towards it. But I let my national registry go because I'm never going to be a paramedic outside the state of Virginia. Our Con Ed that we do or quarterly is enough to cover me for my research for the state. So I don't need to do any extra stuff. But my department, my department has a really good EMS division and training division that takes care of all that stuff. Like we're really, really fortunate it makes it really easy for the guys in the field.
Yeah. Yeah. I think what we've talked about, the realization that it's not going away, it's just going to become more. And what you said, 80-85%, Doug, that's across the country.
Yeah. I wouldn't, at the end of this year, I wouldn't be surprised if we're at 85%.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a national statistic. That's pretty close, give or take 5, maybe even 10% in some places. But you're running a lot of medical aids compared to, and so just know that. And I think, just to kind of bring it all back around is just understand that, even though we do more EMS, more EMS, maybe we shouldn't do as much training on it because we do it all the time. But just think about all the protocols, the trauma protocols, the stroke protocols, the cardiac protocols.
I said that, but I don't want you to forget that, yes, we do run a lot of EMS and you stay more routinely sharp on that, but a lot of the EMS you run is BS. So you also, the same way you train for the high acuity fire calls, you need to train for the high acuity EMS calls because that's when you're going to look foolish.
Absolutely. When
you end up trying to figure out which medicine you got to give and you're not, it's just, you need to train for the high acuity EMS stuff.
And it goes back to what you said, Doug, is like, where have you shown most of your impact in your career? It's probably on a medical aid.
Absolutely.
Sorry to say it, but it's true. But yeah, we'll do like firefighter of the year stuff, but we do very rarely do any like type of special. We're pretty small, and to be honest, dude, I even have a hard time. Like we'll run a good call, or two. Like we had at one shift where it was like just 3, like either it was a stroke or a cardiac. It was like a specialty center. And I, the next day they go, "Hey, what'd you guys do?" And I'm like, the engine's good. The narcs are in there. Like, oh yeah, we did run a cardiac call. And then you remember like, oh, it was actually a pretty good one. And then you talk about it, but it's just what you do. Like, I don't know, the tones go off, you run the call, you help somebody. And that's where I get I'll be perfectly honest with you guys. I don't mind running medical aids. I love helping people. Like I just do. I'm not like here to like, I get there and I'm like, if I can make that person day a little better than what it was before they call 911.
I like trying to find what the problem is.
Like fucking, yeah.
I like, all right, what's wrong with this person and how can I fix it in the 6 to 8 minutes I have them in the back of my ambulance?
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, at the same time, just not ignoring we have a responsibility and it's a massive responsibility. It's
no matter what the call type is, you are still here for them.
Right. Yep. Good. Freddie kind of came up with the topic, but he had to run on us. So I didn't know if he had anything else to add to it, but I think we kind of beat the dead horse and we don't need to keep talking about it. But to all the people that are wanting to get into the fire service and the new firefighters, just do your best and keep up on your skills and just realize that they're, even I've been a medic since 2010. So what's that, 15 years? and they change them fucking twice a year. We do an April update and an October update. And they change
I feel like ACLS changes every year.
It's crazy. And you guys, Doug, like when you went through paramedic school, they burn that shit in your brain. You are flashcarding 24 hours a day for it was 8 or 9 months. And that isn't even including the prereq classes you have to take. Mm-hmm. You're looking at rhythms and all this stuff, drugs and contraindications, indications, all this stuff, right? And it's burning you. And then all of a sudden they're like, you know what? We're not going to do atropine anymore on full arrest. You know what I mean? And we're going to use amiodarone, but sometimes you can use lidocaine, and it's this much. And now all of a sudden, now it's from 0.5 to stay alive for atropine. Now it's 1 milligram, which we used to give to dead people. And it's like, wait, that's not what's in my brain. You know what I mean? So there's a lot to know. And if you think you know it all, that's the day that you need to think about retiring. Because you could always be better. So that's just my 2 cents.
Yeah.
All right.
Good stuff.
Snail mail.
It's snail mail time.
All right. I don't have that much snail mail, boys. Our engagement this week, we had Social FD on the podcast that dropped on Mondays, and we've started to get a couple of comments through that, but we did have one on Spotify, and it was actually Social FD. Absolutely appreciate the opportunity to speak with you guys. Definitely a highlight for me. So vice versa. I thought it was a great conversation. In fact, one that I want to revisit because
and I'm sad that I wasn't here because I met him at FDIC last year, and we talked about getting him on the podcast. And I'm sorry it took a year, but yeah,
whatever.
I
Doug.
wasn't here for that.
You should be.
See you in April.
Yeah, we'll see him in April. But yeah, so it was a really good talk, and I want to revisit that podcast. I need to listen to it on my own. There was a lot that was talked about, and what I kind of wanted to say publicly was, what he does, Kevin does, for the volunteer fire department community is amazing. And we didn't really get to talk a lot about, he tries to educate those types of communities about what they should be posting on social media. And he did talk about that. But as far as raising funds for them, I want to hear more about what he does through Social FD. We kind of got into the difference, Doug, between volunteer and full-time. And we talked a little bit about, I don't know, just the differences between the two and the expectations and stuff like that. So I wanted to get a little bit more into what Social FD does. And we didn't get to do that. So we're definitely going to have him on again. I had another one here on Instagram, but it was Unky K-Bill Gets It. That was it. But yeah, like I said, we didn't have very much. One of our videos with him has 8,000 views, I think, 7,500 views on TikTok. Dan Dudley said a lot of rural departments have close-minded leadership and think social media is the devil and it's for our children. I've tried so hard to get ours to post more, and all I get is crickets.
He's right.
Everything's of the devil to you, mama.
Blake said, as PIO for 6 volunteer departments, it's a struggle. And so I think what he's talking about is the funding that K-Bill was talking about, that they have a hard time trying to secure for those departments. Big EJ, he was all over this one. He said the volunteer fire department, we post all that stuff, and also we hold classes for the community to show what to do if they have a small fire in their house. So that's good. It's a little community risk reduction. Get out there in your community and teach them something. Community education is a part of that pillar. It's one of those pillars to life, property, and environment that your mission statement's saying. One last one, Jim. Exactly what I did with local department. I took over in my town with a population of 350. Prescribed burns we did as well as for farmers, which was a success for areas that have that option. Not a lot of people have that option. Doug, you probably have that option.
I don't know.
Little prescribed burn. You don't ask for permission. You just ask for forgiveness.
Yeah. I've got a lot of stuff in the back 40 to burn, and I've thought about reaching out to the local volunteers to say, hey, look, when I do this, do you guys want to come stage and with a brush truck and maybe do some training during it? And,
yeah. All right. Well, this one was chock full of a little bit of EMS, a little bit of fire. EMS ain't going away. A lot of good points that we made, I think. We'll see if we can create a scurvy on social media. We always love doing that.
Go get your paramedic. They're going to pay you to ride the ambulance. You might as well get paid more to ride the ambulance.
There you go. There's a true statement. It's the biggest. It's the biggest raise you'll ever get in the fire service. The one-time raise.
I hope I get a nice one next year this time.
Yeah, I hope you do too.
I'm taking the business test in September, August, whenever we do it in the fall.
That a baby. He's doing it, folks. He's doing it. All right. You guys got anything else?
Mm-mm.
All right. Just a reminder that all podcasts are streamed on video on Spotify and YouTube, and coming this spring to Apple Podcasts. They are going to be showing our beautiful faces on Apple Podcasts because they finally thought to themselves, I think we're missing something. So please tell everybody about us. We're about 40 followers away on Spotify from 1,000. So we'd love to get to 1,000. That'd be super fun. Look out for our Fill the Boot. I tried to throw out one date and it got denied from all the guys. It's very tough trying to get all 4 or 5 of us together at the same time. And so we will come up with it. I'm hoping in March, but it might be in April. So stay tuned for that. And then Patreon, go $1 or $2 a month to help the podcast out. We appreciate you all. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. That's all
Indeed. Thank you.
All right. Roll it, Gigi.
Roll it, Gigi.
Before you leave, hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and give these firemen a huge thumbs up. Also, make sure you check out thecoolfireman.com for more. Thanks!